May I have your attention, please? I'm Rainer Schulte. I'm connected with the Translation Center. I'm sorry I invited all the former students. They didn't show up, so it's because I think this is one of the great celebrations.
Wait, Dick did. Dick's a former student. He
Oh,
showed
yes.
up.
Oh, okay. Yes. So I think this is a very unique occasion and event that I very much support because it shows the creativity of our students. And now that the school, ATEC and ANH have come back together, this will be the future, opening up new horizons, new doors, and give students who are particularly creative the opportunity to do what they would like to realize. Before I get any further, I would like to introduce. First, I would like to thank Shannon Genster, who has been very, very active in preparation for this. Then the reader of the French is Mary Dibben, who is known to some of us, being one of the best accompanists on the piano for years, and I have witnessed this for many years. Then we have Kathy Lingo. He's a professor here at the university who is in the theater and improvisation, has always projected a tremendous amount of energy for her students and created atmospheres of intensity and creativity. And I have watched this over the years. So thank you for being here. Then I was very happy that Felicity Mazur, who is the composer of this piece, has been able to attract and work with Marcy Ellen Duplantis. And she is here obviously tonight, and they will be performing, and I'm extremely pleased to have that kind of combination. So thank you for being here. What we're going to see and perform tonight is something that interests me particularly because it's an innovation that a student in the university who is working also with our great professor in music, Robert Rodriguez, who is right with us, thank you, and has risked herself to write a composition for a French poem. And the poet is Valery Larbaud, who is very well known in the French context because he is the introduction to understand that a poem doesn't have to have meaning. This is a poem that clashes with the words and that clashes with ideas, and at the end you come to a total vacuum, and the vacuum can no longer be filled, which is obviously an underlining line of thinking and creating of the surrealism. So from my point of view, that interests me very much because these poems have gotten a lot of opposition because people didn't know what to do. And I think we're now at the point where we're trying to understand. We don't ask the question of what the poem means, but we're trying to create an atmosphere that will engage the listener, the reader, into the poem and experience the atmosphere of the poem and be inside the poem. So we no longer say, what does it mean, but how does it come to mean? That is a huge change. Our younger generation is extremely interested in that because they want to perform, they want to become involved and not to be told what I think it means and then they have to repeat it in a final examination. I think those days are pretty much over, and I'm extremely pleased. Felicity Mazur has indeed taken the courage and has been supported by Professor Rodriguez to do something that hardly ever a student has done in a workshop or in a literature class. So I'm extremely pleased with that, and thank you again. One thing just very briefly, Valery Larbaud was one of the great poets. He died in 1957 and is at the core of what we have come to call surrealism. What you see, if you read the poem, you ask yourself at the beginning, what is this all supposed to be? Because it doesn't mean the traditional meaning. It clashes and comes together with words and thoughts that one doesn't want to bring together. But the poem begins very simply with words, and then at the end we are waiting for the solution, and the solution is it's the vacuum. And the vacuum is not going to be filled. To the same extent, this is Beckett waiting for Godot. Waiting for Godot, at the end, Godot never comes. And what amuses me right now more than anything else, I saw on television that people in train stations and airports have a sign around themselves and it says Godot. How that's possible, I don't know, but I love it. Just sit there, Godot. Well, waiting for Godot, this is the same here. Waiting for something, it ends in emptiness. And this is what I think we have to learn, because we have to fill the emptiness. And these poets have tried to create new associations that can fill the emptiness. So with this, I will ask Mary Dibben to read the French first, so you get a feeling for the sound. And then I will ask Kathy Lingo to read the English. And then we will have the performance, so you don't get overstressed. The performance is around 8 minutes. So you won't get too bored during the 8 minutes. Thank you again very much for coming. I'm slightly horrified that the students whom I had invited, specifically myself, are not turning up. This is the future for the students, not the future necessarily for us. It's a different way of looking at the world. It's creating new horizons, new poetic horizons. And this is a piece of that sort, and eventually I think we should write also an additional music, which obviously Felicity Mazur has done. So with this in mind, we will listen to the French and the English. And thank you for coming.
Le don de soi-même. Je m'offre à chacun comme sa récompense. Je vous la donne même avant que vous l'ayez méritée. Il y a quelque chose en moi, au fond de moi, au centre de moi, quelque chose d'infiniment aride, comme le sommet des plus hautes montagnes. Quelque chose de comparable au point mort de la rétine et sans écho, et qui pourtant voit et entend. Un être ayant une vie propre et qui, cependant, vit toute ma vie et écoute impassible tous les bavardages de ma conscience. Un être fait de néant, si c'est possible, insensible à mes souffrances physiques, qui ne pleure pas quand je pleure, qui ne rit pas quand je ris, qui ne rougit pas quand je commets une action honteuse et qui ne gémit pas quand mon cœur est blessé, qui se tient immobile et ne donne pas de conseils, mais semble dire éternellement « Je suis là, indifférente à tout ». C'est peut-être du vide comme est le vide, mais si grand que le bien et le mal ensemble ne le remplissent pas. La haine y meurt d'asphyxie et le plus grand amour n'y pénètre jamais. Prenez donc tout de moi, le sens de ces poèmes, non ce qu'on lit, mais ce qui paraît au travers malgré moi. Prenez, prenez, vous n'avez rien. Et où que j'aille dans l'univers entier, je rencontre toujours hors de moi, comme en moi, l'irremplissable vide, l'inconquérable rien.
I offer myself to everyone as a reward. I give this reward to you before you have earned it. There is something in me, deep in me, in the center of me, something infinitely dry. Something like the top of the highest mountains, something comparable to the retinal dead center, and without an echo. And who yet sees and hears? A being, having a life of its own, and which, however, lives my whole life and listens impassive to all the chatter of my consciousness. a being made of nothing, if that is possible, insensitive to my physical suffering, who does not cry when I cry, who does not laugh when I laugh, who does not blush when I commit a shameful act, who does not moan when my heart is hurt, who stands still and gives no advice, but seems to say forever, I am indifferent to everything. It may be empty, but that is how the void is, but so great that good and evil together do not fill it. Hate dies there of asphyxiation, and the greatest love never enters. So, take all of me. The meanings of these poems, not what we read, but what appears through despite me. Take. You have nothing. And wherever I go, in the whole universe, I always meet, out of me as in me, the irreplaceable vacuum, the inconquerable nothing.
greatest love never enters.
I hope we get an idea of the intensity of the clashes that were in this musical representation of the poem. That's what the poem is about, to clash us. The poem is supposed to make us uncomfortable, and when you get to the end of the poem, it says there's nothing. So now that we're at the beginning of the nothing, we have to fill the nothing with the silence, and the silence with a new creativity. If there's any questions or so, if you would like to hear it again, let me know, otherwise we come to a conclusion. All right, then thank you again for your performance. Thank both the readers for a marvelous reading of recreating the poem. And I hope we will be able to fill our own vacuum in the future.
Thank you very much.